During the brutal winters of World War II, when temperatures plunged far below freezing and firewood was buried under feet of snow, soldiers on every front faced the same deadly challenge: how to eat hot food when even a spark could give away their position. Out in the Russian steppe, in the Ardennes, and deep in the mountains of Norway, carrying heavy fuel or dry wood simply wasn't an option. Yet, despite the odds, thousands of soldiers managed to cook warm meals in sub-zero conditions using a tiny metal contraption small enough to fit in a pocket. It didn't rely on wood, it didn't smoke, and it could bring water to a boil in minutes. This was the forgotten World War II pocket stove, a piece of survival ingenuity that became a silent hero of cold weather warfare. Conventional fires were more than just impractical in winter. They were suicidal. A single curl of smoke could expose a position to enemy aircraft or artillery. In occupied zones, fires were outlawed because they signaled human activity to scouts and snipers. What soldiers needed was a heat source that was portable, invisible, and quick. The solution came in the form of a solid fuel pocket stove, often referred to as an Esbit stove, named after the German brand that first mass-produced it in the 1930s. Unlike traditional stoves that needed liquid fuel or wood, this device used compact fuel tablets made of hexamine, a solid compound that burned hot, smokeless and clean. The tablets could be lit with a single match or spark and would sustain a steady flame for about 12 to 15 minutes, long enough to boil water or heat rations without producing a visible signal. The design was brutally simple: a foldable metal stand that weighed less than 200 grams and could support a canteen cup or mess tin. It folded flat into a pocket-sized square, and the fuel tablets were stored inside it. No moving parts, no pumps, and no maintenance. That simplicity was its genius. When troops were freezing in snow-covered foxholes, the pocket stove became more than a convenience. It was survival. Soldiers carried the small kit in their field jackets or ration tins. To use it, they'd unfold the stove, place a fuel tablet inside, and set it under a metal cup filled with snow or food. Within minutes, the tablet would melt snow into boiling water. A single tablet could bring half a litre of water to a rolling boil, even at temperatures well below freezing. This allowed troops to prepare dehydrated rations, melt snow for drinking, or warm tin meat and coffee, all without building a fire. The lack of smoke and minimal light made it ideal for stealth operations or night patrols. German soldiers relied on it heavily on the Eastern Front, where temperatures regularly fell below -30 degrees Celsius. Allied troops, upon capturing or trading with German units, often kept the same stoves because of their unmatched practicality. Even special operations units, like the British SAS and German Gebirgsjäger mountain troops, adopted these stoves for winter missions. The device's ability to work in snowstorms, high altitudes or deep forests made it invaluable. It also meant troops could eat warm meals without depleting their strength trying to find or dry wood. You know, the secret behind this forgotten stove's success really lay in the fuel's chemistry. Hexamine, its primary component, is a solid compound that's actually formed by combining formaldehyde and ammonia. It burns at roughly 700 degrees Celsius, producing a nearly invisible flame and, well, leaving almost no residue at all. Unlike wood, it doesn't require oxygen-rich airflow, which meant it worked even in windy or low-oxygen environments like mountain passes. One hexamine tablet, just one, produces enough heat to boil around 500 milliliters of water. 2 tablets could heat an entire soldier's ration tin, which is rather impressive. Because the tablets were hydrophobic, they didn't absorb moisture, making them reliable even in the dampest snow or rain. That reliability was what made them so prized. Soldiers knew that no matter the weather, their small metal stove would light every time. For modern survivalists, the same principle still applies. Hexamine fuel tablets are still manufactured today under several brand names, including Esbit and Coghlan's, and they remain a key item in many military and camping kits. They're waterproof, lightweight, and last indefinitely if stored properly. For anyone serious about preparedness, the Second World War pocket stove offers lessons beyond nostalgia. The soldiers who carried it proved that survival is not really about fancy gear. It is about compact reliability. In today's world, where many still depend on bulky gas canisters or flammable liquids, the pocket stove remains a safer and more versatile choice. To recreate the method today, one can assemble a simple survival kit with a folding stove, a hexamine tablet, and a metal cup or canteen. Now, to use it effectively, always place the stove on a stable, fireproof surface like a flat stone or piece of metal. You'll want to shield it from wind with a small rock barrier or even a folded piece of foil, just to concentrate the heat. A single tablet will heat soup water or canned food efficiently, but if you combine 2 tablets, you get a stronger flame for cooking solid meals. One advanced trick World War II soldiers used was pairing the stove with a small insulated pit or snow wall. They'd dig a shallow cavity, place the stove inside, and cover it loosely to trap heat. This allowed them to cook quietly, shielded from both wind and enemy observation. The same setup works for campers or survivalists today. It conserves fuel and, honestly, speeds cooking dramatically. Even if you're not on a battlefield, the lesson remains practical. Always have a compact, self-contained heat source that doesn't depend on external fuel or perfect weather. In blackouts, blizzards, or remote conditions, a hexamine stove can boil water and cook food where modern gear fails. The pocket stove's impact was far larger than its size. It allowed soldiers to endure long missions, resist frostbite, and maintain morale in conditions where open fires meant death. It was, quite simply, the difference between freezing hunger and a hot meal in the snow. Though overshadowed by larger wartime technologies, this tiny device embodies the practical brilliance of field engineering. Simple, dependable, and vital. For history enthusiasts and survival-minded viewers alike, the story of the World War II pocket stove is a reminder that real innovation is born out of necessity. The men who carried these stoves weren't just surviving, they were adapting, turning scarcity into resilience. If you found this deep dive into forgotten wartime survival gear valuable, subscribe to In the Beginning for more episodes exploring the ingenuity, grit, and hidden technology that shaped the world's toughest soldiers. Share this video with fellow history buffs and preppers, because sometimes the smallest tools hold the greatest lessons in survival.